Welcome to Wealth Map Africa, the channel that breaks down who has the money, where the money came from, and where the money definitely did not go. I'm your host, and today we are counting down Nigeria's top 5 richest men in 2026 using verified Forbes data. These are real numbers, real empires, and real levels of wealth that will make you question every decision you have ever made in your life. Let's go. 5 Nigerian men are sitting on over $50 billion right now. $50 billion. Meanwhile, the rest of us are checking our account balance before we order food. Today, we find out who these people are, how they got this obscene amount of money, and most importantly, why none of them have sent any of it to your account yet. Coming in at number 5 with $2.5 billion is a man that most Nigerians have never heard of, but the entire global finance world absolutely knows. His name is Adebayo Ogunlesi, and before you say who, Burna Boy literally put this man in a song, "As I dey hustle like Adebayo Ogunlesi." That is how big this man is. Burna Boy did not sing about your boss, he sang about this man. So who is Adebayo Ogunlesi? He went to Oxford, then Harvard Law, then Harvard Business School. Then he went to work as a law clerk for a US Supreme Court justice. At this point, most people would say, okay, I am good. I have achieved enough in life. Not Ogunlesi. He said, you know what? Let me also build one of the biggest infrastructure investment firms on the entire planet. He founded Global Infrastructure Partners, a firm that literally bought Gatwick Airport in London. Bought an airport. Not a flight ticket, not business class, the entire airport. The Nigerian press gave him the nickname, and I love this, the man who bought Gatwick Airport. Sir, you did not need to do that to us. In 2024, BlackRock bought his firm for $12.5 billion. He personally received $600 million in cash and nearly 2 million BlackRock shares in one transaction. $600 million in cash. I do not even want to think about what his bank notification looked like that day. His firm has invested in more airport infrastructure globally than the Nigerian government has built in 60 years of independence. One man. More airports than an entire government. Let that sit with you for a moment. Number 4. Femi Otedola, $1.3 billion. At number 4, the man, the legend, the father who gives his daughters Ferraris for gifts, Femi Otedola, worth $1.3 billion. Now, before anyone comes for me in the comments, yes, his net worth dropped slightly from last year. The man went from $1.6 billion to $1.3 billion. He lost $300 million and still woke up this morning completely unbothered. You know why? Because losing $300 million when you have $1.3 billion is like you losing 300 naira when you have 1,300 naira. It stings a little, but you are still eating. Otedola built his fortune in oil and gas through 40 Oil, then moved into power generation through Geregu Power, one of Nigeria's biggest electricity companies. Now I need you to appreciate the irony here. The man who supplies electricity to Nigeria lives in a house that definitely never experiences power cuts. While the rest of us are managing our generators and calculating fuel costs, Femi Otedola is sitting in full air conditioning at all times. Must be nice. In 2026, he sold his controlling stake in Geregu Power for approximately $750 million. $750 million from one sale. To put that in perspective, that is enough money to pay Nigeria's entire minimum wage workforce for several months, from selling one company. But here is the thing about Otedola that I genuinely respect. The man donates a lot. He gave 1 billion naira to families of soldiers fighting Boko Haram. He funded medical treatments for thousands of Nigerians. He gave each of his 3 daughters a Ferrari. Okay, that last one is not charity. That is just a man showing off. But we respect it. Number 3 is the most mysterious man on this entire list. $6.5 billion, telecoms empire, oil company, and almost 0 public appearances. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Adenuga, also known as the Bull, also known as the man who built a multi-billion-dollar empire and somehow convinced the world's press to leave him completely alone. This man has $6.5 billion, and you cannot find a recent interview with him anywhere on the internet. None. 0. He does not do press. He does not do podcasts. He does not post on Instagram. He does not have a Twitter. Meanwhile, people with 65,000 naira in their account are posting daily motivational quotes about wealth. Mike Adenuga has $6.5 billion and posts nothing, absolutely unbothered. He founded Globacom, Nigeria's second largest telecom network with over 50 million subscribers. That means right now, as you watch this video, there is a very good chance the network signal you are using to stream this belongs to a man who has never once asked for your attention or your admiration. He just quietly built an empire and collected the money. He started out selling soft drinks and lace fabric. Lace fabric. From selling lace fabric on the streets of Lagos to owning a telecom network with 50 million subscribers and an oil company. The upgrade that happened between those 2 points in his life is genuinely one of the most impressive stories in Nigerian business history. The shocking number for Adenuga: 1 in every 4 Nigerians has a Glo SIM card. That means in a country of 220 million people, 50 million of them are paying this man money every single month, whether they like it or not, whether the network is working or not. And if you are a Glo subscriber watching this, you already know. Okay, before we get to numbers 2 and 1, I need you to do something. In the comments right now, tell me which of these 3 men you think has the most impressive story. Ogunlesi, who bought airports, Otedola, who gave his daughters Ferraris, or Adenuga, who built a $6.5 billion empire and has never once felt the need to tell anyone about it. Drop your answer below. I read every single comment. Now, numbers 2 and 1. This is where it gets really uncomfortable. At number 2, the man who had the most jaw-dropping year of any billionaire in Africa in 2026, Abdul Samad Rabiu. Net worth $11.2 billion. And before you think, oh nice, number 2, good for him, let me tell you what happened to this man's wealth in the last 12 months, because it is actually surprising. In 2025, Abdul Samad Rabiu was worth $6.1 billion, already very comfortable, already in a different reality from the rest of us. But then 2026 happened. His net worth jumped to $11.2 billion. That is an increase of $5.1 billion in 1 year. His wealth grew by 120% in 12 months. BUA cement shares went up 135% on the Nigerian stock exchange. The man nearly doubled his net worth while most Nigerians were trying to survive inflation. Let me put that $5.1 billion gain in terms we can all understand. He added $5.1 billion in 1 year. That is $13 million per day, $541,000 per hour, $9,000 per minute, and approximately $150 every single second. While you were watching this video, Abdul Samad Rabiu made more money than most Nigerians make in a month. How did he do it? Through BUA Group, cement, sugar, flour, real estate, and port operations. Rabiu understood something that most people overlook. Build businesses around things people cannot stop buying, no matter how poor the economy gets. People will always need cement to build houses, sugar to sweeten their tea, flour to make their bread. While other billionaires were chasing flashy industries, Rabiu quietly cornered the market on the basics and became $11 billion richer for it. He added more to his personal net worth in 2026 than the entire annual budget of 15 African countries. One man, 1 year, more money gained than 15 governments spend running their entire countries.
And at number 1, did you really think it was going to be anyone else? The man, the myth, the refinery, Aliko Dangote. $28.5 billion. Let me just say that number out loud slowly so it can properly ruin your day. $28.5 billion. That is not a net worth. That is a threat. Dangote is not just the richest man in Nigeria. He is the richest person in Africa, the richest black person on planet Earth, and one of the top 100 wealthiest humans alive on a planet of 8 billion people. Out of every single human being alive today, Dangote is in the top 100. Let that register. Now here is the part of the Dangote story that gets me every time. He started with 500,000 naira, borrowed from his uncle to trade commodities as a young man. At today's exchange rate, that is roughly $300. He borrowed the equivalent of $300 and turned it into 28.5 billion. The return on investment on that loan from his uncle is so astronomical that there is no calculator on earth that can compute the percentage. His uncle gave him 500,000 naira and Dangote turned it into $28 billion. I need someone to find that uncle and ask him how he feels about that investment. Because if I lend my friend 500,000 naira and he becomes the richest person in Africa, I am expecting something back. A building, a car, something, anything. Today, Dangote Group employs over 30,000 people directly, pays more corporate tax than most Nigerian states generate in total revenue. And then there's the refinery, the Dangote refinery in Lagos, the largest single train refinery in the world. Capacity of 650,000 barrels of crude oil per day. Nigeria, a country that has been exporting crude oil for decades and importing refined fuel back, may finally be able to refine its own fuel at home because of one man's private investment. In 2026 alone, his wealth grew by over $17 billion. $17 billion in 1 year. That is $46 million per day, $1.9 million per hour. And I want you to really think about this. Approximately $532 every single second. The price of a decent smartphone. Every single second. And here is the detail that will completely break your brain. Forbes has reported that Dangote is preparing a pan-African IPO for his refinery, valued at up to $50 billion, targeting listings across multiple African exchanges. If that happens, Dangote's net worth could double again. The man who is already worth $28.5 billion could become a $50 billion man in Africa this decade. We might be watching history happen in real time.
Okay, here is the number I promised you at the beginning, the one that will genuinely make you put your phone down for a second. The combined net worth of these 5 men, Dangote, Rabiu, Adenuga, Ogunlesi, and Otedola, is over $50 billion. Nigeria's entire national budget for 2026 is $35 billion. 5 individual human beings control more private wealth than the federal government has to run a country of 220 million people for an entire year. That is either the most inspiring thing you have heard all week, proof that generational wealth is possible on African soil, or the most sobering, a reminder of how concentrated wealth really is in this country. Probably both. Definitely both. So there they are. Nigeria's top 5 richest men in 2026. Number 5, Adebayo Ogunlesi, the man who bought Gatwick Airport and put Burna Boy in his lyrics. Number 4, Femi Otedola, the man who gives Ferraris as birthday presents. Number 3, Mike Adenuga, $6.5 billion and 0 social media presence, a legend. Number 2, Abdul Samad Rabiu, added $5 billion in 1 year and barely made headlines.
Number 1. Aliko Dangote, $28.5 billion, the richest black person on earth, started with $300 borrowed from his uncle. Now I have a question for you, and I genuinely want to know your answer in the comments. Which of these men do you think gives back the most to Nigeria? And which one do you think should be doing more?